Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the video today. Improving your miniatures is about falling in love with your craft again and finding joy in those mundane aspects of the hobby. If you want to make your miniatures look better and stand out from the crowd, then I have the 7 most important tips that you'll ever hear, and you'll be able to see your improvement in a matter of days. This is Cursed Crusader Arts. The most important thing that you need to do is to get out of your own head. No one is going to blame you for trying to improve your craft, and that means neither should you. If anything, they will try to share their knowledge with you to help you improve and achieve your goals. The next thing you need to do is to look at your minis with a critical eye. When you finish a hobbying session, go and take a break. The brain is able to recover quite quickly, so you only need to be away from your project for like 15 minutes. But you could go away, have something to eat, drink, talk to someone, even go for a walk, get some fresh air. And this will help your mind and your eyes relax. When you come back, I want you to keep in mind the perspective. First of all, look at your minis from far away. Leave them on your desk and then just stand by them and have a look at them. This is the tabletop perspective. This is the angle that you would see your models when you're playing the game. Now, ask yourself a few questions. Can you tell what the model is just by looking at it? Are you able to determine what each and every part is? Now, once you've done this, go and have a look at the model up close. This is where you actually look critically at the specific aspects of the creative process. Are your highlights where they need to be? Are they crisp and sharp? Is the mood correct for what you want? Have you added all the correct details onto your miniature, like we talked about in the previous video where we said about adding a story to your miniature? Are all of those little details on that model? If you can find some gaps, this is where you can begin to lay out a system so that you can improve your models. But be specific in your criticisms. Turn around and saying, I don't like it. It's just not good enough, because it doesn't tell you what aspect of the miniature needs to be improved. So while you're doing this and you're making these criticisms, write it down, make some notes. This will help reduce the amount of work that your brain has to do so that you can focus on the task at hand instead of trying to remember what things it is that you wanted to improve. So you've had a look at your model, you've pointed out a few things that you think you need to improve on. But within that, there is another problem. We can be our own worst critics, and we spend so much time obsessing over each and every tiny detail that there are 2 major problems. The first one is we waste so much time obsessing over each and every little detail, and because of that, we end up missing the most obvious mistakes that stick out. For example, the first model that I painted on this channel, right? It's the Crimson Fist Space Marine. I spent so much time working on the freehand for this pauldron, something that I'm not particularly good at, but I spent so much time focusing on it that I didn't even notice this massive mistake until somebody else pointed it out to me. Take a look, see if you can find it. Look at that massive white streak on the power pack. It's a huge mistake, it's something that could be fixed really easily. Yet I missed it. I didn't even see it until later on. Now, for myself, I have left the mistake there for me to see as a reminder to focus on these things, and also as a reminder to ask other people what they think, because someone else is going to see the mistakes that you miss. The other reason to get another opinion, and it's going to sound harsh, but the reality is you don't know everything. Our minds can only hold so much information at one time, and we can only learn so much by ourselves. But by talking to others, especially crafters, you're going to learn so much more, because they will know about different painting styles or building materials or even other artists that you can go and learn from to grow your existing skill set and improve your miniatures. Now take note that I said crafters, not hobbyists. Hobbyists are great to talk to, and you should talk to them. But remember, their minds are going to work somewhat similarly to yours, because they're trained to think and look for specific things. Talking to crafters in a more general sense means that you're going to gain information from outside of the hobby that you're a part of. This means they won't be necessarily thinking about your miniature in the same way, and might be able to bring forward ideas and suggestions that you had never thought of before. So get out there and talk to people. Friends and families are a great start. I often talk to my parents and get advice from them, but you could also take your piece down to the local hobby store, or even go online and send in photographs to like-minded communities and take their ideas on board as well. So, just as you're about to go and talk to somebody else and show them your model, I want you to understand these very important words that I'm about to say. Style does not equate to skill. I'm going to let you in on a little secret now, right? I just said that I often go to my parents for advice on my miniatures, right? On how well they're painted and if I've made mistakes and all of these different kinds of things. And you know, there's always one little thing that we want. My dad doesn't really like the way that I paint, and yet he's the one who taught me when I started over 15 years ago. Huh? Now, he will often say, it isn't my style, but then he'll say that it really leans into some of the aspects of the Grimdark or Blanchitsu styles, which is what I'm trying to do. This is really important because even though he doesn't like the style, he can see what I'm trying to capture and he recognizes the effort behind it. To determine what needs improving, you need to focus on the skills instead. How precise are your highlights and line work? Is your color palette in harmony? Does your model have enough detail or has it become too crowded? Don't get disheartened if your model doesn't resonate with somebody else. You can always just go and ask somebody else. Now these tips are going to help you get the information you need so that you know what aspects of your miniature hobby you need to improve. So if you found any of this useful, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more ideas like this. And leave your comments down below to let me know how you try to go about improving your miniatures. Alright, so you've been given your advice and suggestions, but how do you actually improve it? Let's say you want to learn how to paint faster. You've got a deadline, you've got to get this army finished before the next tournament starts, and you need a fully painted army. So let's set up a kind of experiment. Set out a group of minis or some spare parts like heads or pauldrons to practice on. What I want you to do is paint the first piece exactly the same way that you would normally do, but time it. This is going to give you your baseline result because we're going to get a little scientific with it. For the second piece, decrease the amount of time that you have to paint the next mini or the next piece by about 5%. This is going to encourage you to paint a little bit faster by giving you this deadline to work towards. But you will likely find that your quality of work might reduce. But as your brain gets used to the speed, it will spend less energy thinking about how fast you're trying to go, and your quality will begin to improve again as you do the third, fourth and fifth tests, painting using the new time frame while you're focused on getting your quality back to where it normally is. It's like a kind of seesaw effect until you reach that equilibrium where your speed and quality are at the place where you want it to be. Now, this might take you a little bit of time, and you may not complete this with just the one experiment. It may take you a few more experiments to get the speed and quality to where you want. But these small incremental increases will be far more effective than trying to make a huge jump in one go. And here's one more thing. When you're trying to improve your speed or any other aspect of your hobbying, don't try to improve anything else. Focus on that one goal. I don't want you to think about shading, dry brushing or highlighting while you're trying to paint faster. If you try to improve too many things at once, not only will it take up too much time and energy, but you run the risk of ruining your model or even just burning out completely. Instead, focus entirely on the one thing that you're trying to improve and keep the rest the same.
The Sigmarians here must be better than this.
Remember how I said earlier that if you try to increase your speed, your quality might go down? Well, what if after a few weeks of trying to improve, you're just not seeing the difference? This can be quite disheartening. But I want to present this idea to you. Think about when you started a new job. There's usually this trial period that can last up to 12 weeks. And during this time, you learn everything that you can about the new job to build up your skill set. Or treat your hobby the same way when you're trying to improve your building or painting skills. Make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to grow and learn. And don't get disheartened if you're not seeing any significant improvement right away. Improving your skills means breaking old habits that might be holding you back and forming new habits that propel yourself forward. So give yourself a period of 3 months to see if you've made any significant progress, and then reevaluate that progress so that you can set new goals. After a while of doing these things, we can run the risk of burning out. You know, maybe you've been rushing an army for a tournament, or you've spent hundreds of hours on a single model for a competition. Sometimes you can put so much effort into making things and end up going in circles without much progress. So my suggestion here is to go and do something else.
Oh, so, well, then, I guess, this is goodbye, huh? I'm sorry that I'm so dysfunctional. Go ahead, and, I do understand. I do. Bye-bye.
No, not quit, you melon. I mean, do something that's slightly different but uses the same skills. You know, for example, I'm currently trying out the John Blanche Masterclass set by Army Painter because I want my miniatures to look even more like a grim dark or Blanchitsu piece. Different tools give you different results. So while I'm doing this, my brain believes that I'm doing something different because the tools are different. But the skills are still the same. I'm still doing layers, I'm still doing shading, I'm still doing highlights. This is all the same, but the tools are different. This makes it more exciting because now in my mind while I'm painting, I am comparing the Army Painter paints to the Citadel paints. This is exciting, it helps prevent burnout. And you know, you might accidentally find something that actually provides a better result than what you were doing previously. For example, I've spent a week working out the perfect paint scheme for these skeletons painted in a nighttime setting. But within the space of an hour, these new tools have provided me with something even better on this beast that I'm painting. So try out new tools and new miniatures, or even try your hand at a scrap build. There are so many things that we can do by ourselves to improve our miniatures, but you can do it so much faster if you have a guide. There are so many experienced miniature builders and painters that we can learn from, and each one of them has their own distinct style and favours certain skills. Now, some of these artists will offer premium lessons that you can pay for to learn at an accelerated rate. However, many of them will also have free content that you can use to learn from at your own pace. A great example of this is how I took inspiration from Sergio Calvo to practice some of the line work on these biblically accurate cherubs. The first one was a challenge and it didn't really look all that great. But by the time I got to the third one, I had significantly improved. So no matter what it is that you're trying to improve, I can guarantee that someone out there has a guide for you. All you have to do is look for it. But at the end of the day, this is a hobby. And let me ask you something. What's the point of a hobby if it's not fun?
I don't know.
Don't let your hobby become stagnant or stale. It's way too easy now to be tricked into making boring cookie cut miniatures. So if this helped you at all, click on this video to keep things interesting. And whatever you do, make things, have fun, and I'll see you next time on Cursed Crusader Arts.